Hey kids, I'm back. Well, I read you a few scary places there a few minutes ago. I'd like to read to you murder houses. These are places where violent crimes of passion and revenge happened, and the walls they don't speak, they scream. The first house that I'd like to tell you about is Lizzie Borden's house in Fall River, Massachusetts. A once popular children's jump rope rhyme goes like this. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Just a little ditty to play over in your mind if you're thinking of spending the night in a neat 2-story clapboard Victorian house that also happens to be the scene of one of the most notorious crimes of all time. The axe murders of 32-year-old Lizzie Borden's father and her stepmother one steamy August morning in 1892, and the case's shocking conclusion have resonated through history. Despite acting strangely, she was spotted burning her own dress. And giving conflicting stories, Lizzie was acquitted of the murders and lived out her life in Fall River, Massachusetts, although she was ostracized. The home has since been restored to its homicidal glory as the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast Museum. Visitors can see the exact spot where Andrew Borden's body was found on a sofa. The more adventurous can sleep in the room where Abby Borden's body was found in a pool of blood on the floor. And no night would be complete without creaking floors, squeaky doors, opening and closing, disembodied voices, the feel of a finger down the back, and the vision of Lizzie's ghosts in the basement where she allegedly stashed evidence. The less brave can watch from afar by going online. The house is equipped with several ghost cams. This is Lizzie Borden's house. On this side, I won't get it too close because it's a little gruesome. This is Lizzie Borden. This was her stepmother, and this is her father. She hit her father so hard in the head with the axe that part of his skull caved in. She just literally destroyed his face. Oh, she must have had some really big issues going on. Wow. My next story is from Silica, Iowa. The Silica Axe Murder House. Sometime between midnight and 5 a.m. on June 10, 1912, in a white frame house in southwestern Iowa, a family of 6 and 2 others were bludgeoned to death in their beds with an axe. They were killed with such ferocity that the weapon left dents in the ceiling from the upswings. The brutal slaying of Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 children, and the 2 5-year-old Stillinger sisters baffled police. In the era before the careful sealing of crime scenes and the widespread use of fingerprint and other forensic evidence, the few clues left behind, the wiped clean axe, a watch chain that apparently belonged to the killer, proved of little use. Several suspects were identified, including a traveling preacher, a prominent state senator, and a killer hired by a business rival of Josiah. But none was charged with the crime, and for more than 100 years, the Silica axe murders have remained officially an open case. The violence still haunts the small town, to say nothing of the house where it happened. Tours and overnight stays are available, but be forewarned. Visitors report the sounds of children playing when no kids are in the house. There have been accounts of ladders that move on their own and lamps that fall for no apparent reason. A parade of psychics and paranormal investigators claim to have made contact with otherworldly beings. Will the victims not rest until their killings are solved? I'm very much enjoying this. So if you enjoy hearing these stories, please smash that like button and let me know. Our next story is in Seguin Lighthouse. Let's see, I believe this is in Maine. The Seguin Island Lighthouse invites awe, a soaring 180-foot tower with a powerful beam guiding ships through the treacherous rocks off the coast of Maine. But for one young bride, this was a place of pure misery. According to lore, in the 1850s, a recently married lighthouse keeper brought his wife to Seguin Island, but the isolation and loneliness plunged her into a deep depression. To lift his bride's spirits and battle her boredom, the keeper had a piano shipped to the tiny island, 2 miles offshore. To his initial joy, she played, and then she never stopped. Day after day, night after night, she played the same song, either because that was the only sheet music she had, or because she was going mad. The stories differ, driving her husband batty until one day he snapped. He took an axe to the piano, and then to his wife, and then to himself. Though never verified, the story casts a long shadow of the historic lighthouse, commissioned by George Washington in 1795, rebuilt a couple of times and staffed by the Coast Guard until 1985, at which time its light and foghorn were automated. Though nobody lives here anymore, it is said the lighthouse is hardly empty. Captains report sounds of a piano wafting through the fog from the direction of the island, and some visitors say they believe they've seen the ghost of a man lofting an axe above his head. Now, I'm about to read you a very, very big one. This took place in Los Angeles, California. It's the Manson House. For much of its history, the 1941 built home with a pool and guest house in Benedict Canyon above Bel Air symbolized Hollywood glamour. Its residents included newly married Cary Grant and Diane Cannon, Henry Fonda, and the 60s pop group Paul Revere and the Raiders. Record producer Terry Melcher, the son of Doris Day, rented the house around the time he was discussing a record and documentary deal with a fledgling musician named Charles Manson. Melcher ultimately decided not to move forward with the project, and Manson never forgave him. On the night of August 8, 1969, 4 of the cult's leader's family members invaded the French-style country house at 10050 Cielo Drive and slaughtered 5 people. Melcher and his then-girlfriend, Candace Bergen, were not among them, having moved out for new tenants, actress Sharon Tate and her husband, Roman Polanski. Whether Manson knew of the change in residency remains a burning question, but he knew the house, having been there at least twice. Either way, his followers did what they were told to do: murder everyone there, and Tate, 8 months pregnant, was among the dead. Polanski was in Europe for a film. For the next 20 years, landlord Rudy Altobelli lived there, saying he felt safe before selling it in 1989 for $1.6 million. 9 Inch Nails rocker Trent Reznor then rented the home and set up a recording studio he called Le Pig, after the words Susan Atkins scrawled in Tate's blood on the front door. Little sounds would make me jump at first, but after a while it was just like home, he told Entertainment Weekly. The house didn't feel terrifying so much as sad, peacefully sad. The structure was razed in 1994 and rebuilt with a new address to keep away looky-loos, if not its powerful aura. Neighbor David Oman, who built a house next door, says the evil drifted to his place, telling LA Weekly he woke one night to find a full-body apparition by his bed. The ghost, he says, was pointing towards the former 10050 Cielo Drive. Creepy stuff, man. Creepy stuff. And now, another biggie. Amityville, New York. the Amityville Horror House. In 1974, 23-year-old Ronald Butch DeFeo killed his parents and 4 siblings with a rifle in their home in the Amityville neighborhood of Long Island, New York. A horrific crime for which DeFeo got 6 life sentences. Despite the well-publicized violent history, the Lutz family purchased the 5-bedroom Dutch colonial house with windows that looked like eyes, only to endure what they called 28 days of pure madness. Green slime oozing from the walls, a wall-mounted crucifix that swung upside down and started stinking, a pig that somehow climbed to an upstairs window. George and Kathy Lutz fled with their family, then hooked up with author Jay Anson, a collaboration that produced the terrifying 1977 bestseller The Amityville Horror, A True Story, and the 1979 film by the same name, often considered one of the scariest movies of all time, starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder as the Lutzes. I have a cat fight going on here. Excuse the noise. This spawned a mini empire of some 13 more films along with TV specials, documentaries, and books. It also raised one big question. Is the world's most famous haunted house really haunted? Many of the movies have virtually nothing to do with the original demonic doings, save for the name Amityville in the titles. And almost from the moment the first book hit the shelves, controversy swirled over how true the story was. Fact-checkers noted that snow didn't fall when the book said it did. Police weren't called to the home at 112 Ocean Avenue as reported. Neighbors said they never saw anything unusual. Many now describe Anson's book as a novel. The author died in 1980. Lawsuits also erupted over the proceeds from the Amityville projects. The Lutzes reportedly agreed to split the book profits with Anson, but attorney William E. Weber, who defended the killer DeFeo, also wanted a piece of the action, claiming the couple once had a deal with him and a different writer. Weber claimed the whole Amityville story was pure fiction. I know this book's a hoax, he told People magazine in 1979. We created this horror story over many bottles of wine. It seems the only thing haunting this house was litigation. There you go. Creepy stuff. I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to come back in a little while with Haunted Hollywood. So I will see you later, guys. Bye.